And it is a fear that often becomes reality at schools across the country, and that is weapons getting into schools. Last year, our WKYT Investigates team uncovered numerous incidents of weapons making their way into Fayette County Public Schools.
Yeah, in some cases, school leaders didn't even know a weapon had been inside until days later. At the time, WKYT Samantha Valentino tried to sit down with Fayette County Public School Superintendent Dr. Demetrius Liggins to ask him about the number of guns getting into his schools, but her requests for an interview then were denied.
Tonight, she sits down with Liggins to discuss school safety, including why some buildings still lack metal detectors 7 years after the district collected your tax dollars to pay for them.
Our number one priority is our student safety.
Fayette County Public Schools' 10-point safety plan was announced in 2018 before Dr. Demetrius Liggins became superintendent. The plan remains in place, and Liggins says continuing to implement it is one of his biggest goals.
A kid cannot learn if they don't feel safe, if they're not safe. A teacher can't teach if they don't feel safe.
It's what FCPS called a $13.5 million school security plan funded through a 5-cent property tax increase. The plan included installing metal detectors in all of the district's middle and high schools. The district's high schools have since been equipped with them, but none of the middle schools currently have metal detectors.
We are certainly still looking at implementing them fully into the middle schools.
However, Liggins says the cost of the entire 10-point safety plan has exceeded what the nickel tax produced. He says the district doesn't have the money for metal detectors right now.
We have 13 middle schools, and so to expand it to 13 more sites would be quite expensive when already so much of that safety plan is coming out of the general fund in addition to the safety tax that was passed in 2018 by our citizens.
It's an issue we tried to ask Liggins about last summer. Through several open records requests, we obtained copies of all reports of weapons on FCPS campuses going back to early 2020. We received just shy of 80 records. They detailed incidents involving 16 guns on school campuses. In some cases, district officials weren't aware a gun was on the property until hours or even days later.
Are you concerned about the frequency of weapons, including guns, getting into schools seemingly unnoticed?
There's absolutely nothing we can do to guarantee that that won't occur, but it's certainly something that I'm working towards preventing as much as we possibly can. And so, yeah, anytime a weapon is in our schools that should not be there is a concern.
Newly obtained records for last school year detail 12 incidents where weapons were brought onto school property. 10 knives, a stun gun, and 1 firearm. That firearm was found in a student's backpack by metal detectors at Bryan Station High School in April. The number of weapons getting into FCPS schools is trending down from 25 in the 2022-2023 year to 14 the following year and then 12 last year. However, parents still have concerns.
I think it's kind of ridiculous that it's been 7 years for something as critical as safety to be blatantly ignored.
Norma Justice is an FCPS parent and the president and co-founder of the Fayette County Children's Coalition.
We don't have the funds to do any of it because we have this $16 million shortfall, because funds haven't been used appropriately across the board. And again and again and again, it is our students who are paying that price.
Justice says she knows metal detectors alone won't fix the issue of weapons getting into schools. However, she feels they're a step in the right direction to improving safety, something those here at the John D. Price building seem to agree with.
I know every time I have ever entered the Price building, there are metal detectors. And they are mobile metal detectors that can be taken down and put back up. I don't know why those aren't in our schools. And if the priority is to have them in our schools, I don't know why the Price building got them first.
We asked the district why the Price building has temporary metal detectors while the middle schools are still without them. FCPS says they're installed for board meetings because they're open to the public. It costs them roughly $150 each time. In Lexington, Samantha Valentino, WKYT.
You can find our full coverage of weapons in Fayette County Public Schools in this story inside our WKYT News app.